Who the heck would subject themselves to playing healer? Because, oh my gosh, it is so difficult. Now, I tried learning how to be a healer or how to do white mage at the worst possible time because I was coming back to Final Fantasy XIV after taking a year-long break. So I totally forgot how to play the game. I forgot the HUD layout. I forgot like what you're supposed to look at. I forgot what everything meant. And not only am I relearning a game, I'm learning a brand new class, which has a completely different approach from DPS or Dragoon, which is what I was used to if I was used to anything. Now, two reasons why I decided I wanted to try healer. The first is that the reason why I got back into Final Fantasy XIV is because my husband started playing for the very first time. He was interested in playing, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to start the MSQ over. And I obviously don't want a new Warrior of Light. So in order to kind of progress with him, I'll do a new class. And I've kind of always been interested in healer because it is so different. Second, I forgot how to play my Dragoon. I tried to look up guides, but my Dragoon was at level 90 since I stopped playing after Endwalker. And all the guides I found were either stuff that included Dawn Trail changes, but all the Dawn Trail changes were like level 91 and above, or they were like outdated. So they had stuff in the rotations that like were no longer abilities, like abilities that had been phased out. So I could not just go online and be like, what is the rotation? And I was like, I was relearning like hotbars and everything. I don't know. I don't feel confident in my Dragoon. So I chose White Mage as the class to try because I heard that that was like the most beginner friendly in terms of all the healer classes. I don't know if that's true. I'm currently level 62 White Mage as of making this video. So it's been a couple weeks. So here's why I think it's been so difficult for me to wrap my head around being a healer, like a successful healer. So as I'm starting to remember Final Fantasy XIV, there are things that are like coming back to me as I'm spending more time in the game. And the thing that keeps coming back to me is DPS, right? Like do damage. Oh crap, everyone's dying because I'm the healer. Like I keep forgetting that I'm the one. I've never in, the time I've played Final Fantasy XIV ever had to look at anybody else's HP aside from my own or the enemies. That's it. It's like, it's so different to have to train yourself to like, you have to be conscious of everyone else's HP. And then also when you're leveling up White Mage early, like say, 1 to 40, you could do all that content solo. So even when I was learning how to play healer, it is totally different playing healer solo when the only person you have to heal is yourself versus being in a party of other players where there's a tank, where there's like, other people, maybe other people who don't necessarily know how to play. So they're like more prone to getting damage, or people that know how to play really well. And in that case, they speed run through the dungeons and I can't keep up with them. And, it's really hard, like forgetting all the mechanics of every single dungeon and boss. Like I totally forgot. And there's so many things to look at. It's like I'm looking at the enemy, I'm seeing what abilities they're casting, I'm trying to look at the floor to make sure I'm not standing where there's going to be damage. Now I'm looking at the party's health, the tank's health. I'm trying to figure out, like, do I do a group heal? Do I do a solo heal? Do I do regen? I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm out of MP. And also damage, because that's what I'm used to doing. It's like so hard it's a lot. It's like a lot to figure out. I did a couple dungeons with other people, and like one time I wiped, which obviously or I died and then the party wiped. And then I think one other time I just died, which is fine because I don't feel bad, but I still feel bad. I still feel like I messed up, right? So that really discouraged me from continuing. I was like, maybe I'm just not getting it, whatever. And then I posted on Threads that I was having a lot of trouble playing White Mage, and so many people were so encouraging. So thank you. So here's what really helped. First, I looked up guides about being a healer that were not necessarily like class or rotation focused, but more approach focused, right? Like okay, you should always keep an eye on the health of the tank because they're the ones like, you know, tanking and getting all the damage and da-da-da. Okay, that's like something that you should keep in mind regardless of what class you are. And then things like, you know, if you see the boss about to cast like, you know, a stack marker spell or something, you can get everyone in the stack marker and then like start casting a group heal, because as soon as the damage comes, your group heal can come right behind it. Those kinds of things, like those are really helpful. The other thing someone suggested in threads was to do duty support, which I had done, but for some reason I don't know why I didn't do it more often before jumping into duty roulette. I think the reason why I leaned towards roulette was because I thought duty support didn't give you the same amount of experience. Like I thought you got a ding for not, you know, grouping with real players, and you don't. So that was very encouraging when I found that out, that you're not, you know, you get the same amount of rewards. So then I only did duty support, and then that gave me enough confidence and helped me to remember boss mechanics and dungeons and all of that. So like pretty much every dungeon up until the vault, I feel pretty confident in now. So here's what I still struggle with. It is still really, I don't know, it's hard for me to know what to look at. I think that is going to come with practice and muscle memory, but the thing I always forget to look at is my own health. I don't know why. I think I'm just so paranoid of like having anybody else die, which like is backwards, because I think it's more of a problem for the party if the healer dies. But for some reason, like I'm not used to looking at my own health. I think the way that I have the HUD layout set up right now is probably not ideal. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I think what I'm going to do is do a live stream asking people like, hey, help me learn how to play healer, or help me learn how to play white mage better, and then see if I can get suggestions from HUD layout for my HUD layout there, versus just going down kind of a rabbit hole and seeing how other people do it. Because since I'm not at the point where I've mastered the class yet, so I think seeing other people's might just overwhelm me, versus like I need to do baby steps. The other thing is like I had heard that you should focus target the tank so that you can always see their health and whether you have like their buff on them and stuff like that. But the thing I'm realizing is that maybe I should be focus targeting the boss, because then I can see what spells they're casting and how long it takes before, you know, the spell is going to go off. If I have a focus target on the tank and then I target the tank, now I have 2 targets on the tank and none on the boss. So I'm starting to recognize that might be a problem. Now, the other thing I'm still struggling with is getting new spells. So I'm actually at the point where now I don't want to level up. I dread getting new spells because, of course, it's change, and it means change to the rotation I just got used to. It means like, okay, you did group heals this way, but now you have to do it this way. And like, I still don't know what the like most effective way to do it is, right? Like I am kind of just doing what works for me and my NPC buddies in duty support, but that's not all, you know, that's usually not the most optimized way to do it. So I still need to figure it out. Here's what I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm putting this out there. Like, feel free to tell me, to gently suggest how I should be approaching white mage better. So here's what I do. As I mentioned before, I focus target the tank. Not sure if I should be focus targeting the boss. I always keep regen up on the tank. I think that's what you're supposed to do. And I've learned to wait until the tank does something first before I cast regen on the tank. Otherwise, if we have not like initiated the mob yet, me casting regen, everyone starts to attack me. So I've learned to wait. Cure 2, I think, is my basic solo target, at least at level 62. For group heal, if everyone is close together, use Cure 3. If people are more spread out, or if the damage is like above like 80-85%, then I would use Medica 2. or that's what I've been doing. I also do the dome heal thing. I forgot what it's called. But I do the dome heal thing during bosses, but I kind of wait until the boss fight gets going a little bit because you never know if there's a mechanic that like people have to run and the dome is pointless and now I have to wait 90 seconds to be able to cast it again. I've not gotten to the point where this is muscle memory yet because I hadn't gotten to the point where I was running out of MP until I started to get to the patch content, Heaven's Ward content dungeons. But now MP has been an issue multiple times. So I'm trying to remember to pop the, I think it's called Lucid Dreaming, the one that like regenerates the MP, and just like pop it whenever it's off cooldown. Like that's kind of my mentality with that. If I'm running low on HP, I can use the flower thingies, a flatus, I think it's called, where it doesn't take any MP, but it's a single target heal. I'm not used to that yet. I still have to like, it's like I go through a checklist in my head, which is like the worst time to do this because it's always during a boss. But I'm like, okay, if I'm low on MP and somebody needs help and everything is like, you know, good for now, I can pop the flower heal or whatever. I don't know. That's how I've been doing it. I don't know if that's right. If someone dies, I know to do the instant cast spell and then raise. And then I also got another spell recently that decreases it makes it so the next spell doesn't cost any MP. So I hit both of those and then raise. I also got a size. I don't know when to use that really. I kind of use it like at the end, like, you know, when the boss is at like 1% and I'm just like, woo, yay, we did it. I don't know. The other spell I just got is Tetragrammation, I think. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't used it. I don't know when to use it. And then for DPS, I believe it's stone for single target enemy. I put dot arrow on everybody if I can. And then, of course, there's holy for AoE. But the thing with holy that I don't understand is like if I'm in a party going through a duty, do I just spam holy since it's AoE? Because I don't remember seeing other white mages do that. But I don't know if it's because I have like limit effects on and you're just supposed to like, you know, if there's a group mob, go AoE even if you're just spamming it. I don't know. So usually what I do is like I do it once because I also know that the stun effect decreases. I don't know if that matters or if it's just like AoE damage, but I cast holy and then I do stone arrow on each enemy like one by one until everyone has arrow, and then I do holy again. I don't know. So I do have to say there have been a few times where I felt the groove of it, you know, like I'm in a dungeon where I know the mechanics. I've done it a few times. I know what to expect. I know exactly what the bosses are going to do. And I feel confident in the stack of spells that I have, like the Praetorium, for example. Even that, I've gotten to the point where I've done that in the duty roulette. And since I've done it so many times, I'm not worried about myself dying as long as I'm moving when I need to move. And then, you know, I've gotten to the point where I'm able to manage damage or like contribute damage, but then also keep everyone alive. And it's been fun. Like there have been flashes of fun once you get it right. Like once you're not having to think and it all just kind of happens, it's actually fun. So I think I'm getting to the point where I'm more encouraged, you know, rather than like, oh, I'm never going to try that again. But dang, it definitely was hard to learn. And, you know, as I get the higher level spells, I'm still, you know, higher level spells, higher level dungeons. I'm sure I will still be humbled many times. And it's just like, I just want to make sure. I always have anxiety playing with other people. I just want to make sure that I am not wasting anybody's time or making it difficult for anybody else being a newbie healer. And of course, like, you know, everyone I've played with has been at the very least fine, you know? But I can't help but feel like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not like better at this yet. So anyway, I still have anxiety, but the times where everything kind of just feels like flow and I'm in the zone, it has been legit fun. And that fun has been enough for me to continue giving it a try. So as I mentioned before, I think what I'm going to do is a live stream talking all about my white mage and healing. And I think I'm legit going to title it like, help me learn how to play my white mage better or something like that. I just need like one-on-one feedback versus me reading a bunch of guides. And it's just like, it can be really, I don't know, overwhelming. It's not helpful for me. So, but yeah, if you have any tips based on what I have mentioned in this video, I'd love to hear it. So feel free to leave it in the comments. And with that said, I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya. Bye.